My instant impression when I got to Europe was the language. I couldn't understand because I used to think English language is widely spoken, which is true, but I never expected that in some part of the world, English language is non-existent. There is no English language. I was shocked. My instant impression about America is how diverse people are. In America, I could see people like me. I saw Asians, I saw Africans, Caucasians, I saw so many different people. And also, I was surprised how big people are. About 8 years ago, I ventured on a journey from Nigeria to Europe to study medicine. So having spent 8 years in Europe, specifically in Belarus, Georgia, and Russia, I've spent about 2 years also in the US. I'm going to give my thoughts about what I think of United States, having spent 8 years in Europe from my own experience. So the first thing that I want to talk about is work-life balance. Europe is more laid back. They find a way to enjoy life while working. They don't work ridiculous amount of hours in a week. Even during their 8 hours shift, they have intermittent breaks in between. The European system believes in efficiency. So when you have intermittent breaks, it reduces stress and fatigue and productivity goes up. It's different in America. In America, you only have one break during your work shift. And also, Europeans go on vacations a lot. They work to live. They work in order to enjoy life. But in America, they live to work. Europeans prioritize family time, time with friends outside work. They enjoy life. They go for barbecue. They go for picnics. But in America, people go on vacation just once a year. In fact, they make friends at work. They socialize more at work. They create bond with co-workers. It's so important in America to have good relationship with your co-worker because you spend a lot of time, on average about 60 hours a week. They live to work in America instead of working to live. Most Europeans are family oriented because the way they structure their work-life balance. Another thing I observed among American people is what I would call political extremism. It's either you are extreme left or you are extreme right. There is no middle ground. I mean, they blame literally everything on the president. They blame literally everything on their politicians. Each political party has their own ideology, which is a kind of divisible ideology, and this is driven by the media. Even friends and family move on from each other because of political extremism. Europeans don't really concern themselves too much about political ideologies. This is partly because of their dark past. So many bad events has happened to them. They don't want to get involved in politics or offend anyone. So they put it behind and they live their life without concerning themselves too much about politics. And another astonishing thing I noticed is the social settings, the social culture of people. In Europe, I'm used to not talking too much to people, especially in public places. For example, if I meet someone in the elevator in Europe, I'm just going to say hi and that's it. But in America here, people are going to make comments about your shoe and they want to push the conversation even further and further, asking you about where you're from. I don't want to talk. I'm so used to the European system that people just say hello and that's it. They don't get involved in chit chats as compared to Americans. And I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just different. Another very, very fascinating thing about the difference between US and European countries is the transportation system. Trust me, I understand that the United States is the world power, arguably the most developed nation in the world. America has nothing on European countries when we talk about transport system. Transportation in Europe is at the elite level. I mean, every street in most European countries have what they call the tram. The tram is like a mini train that conveys people from one street to the other and across the city, and it's extremely affordable. But in America, apart from New York, Chicago, and maybe one or two other states, you must have a car. And talking about transportation, I noticed that in America, their roads are designed for cars only, but in Europe, there are pedestrian side of the road. If you want to visit your friend, you can walk 15, 20, 30 minutes. We used to even say every evening that we want to take a walk. In America, almost impossible for you to take a walk. And now I'm going to talk about the food. Their food in Europe are not genetically altered or genetically bioengineered. Most of the foods are whole food and they're very cheap as well. If you see a typical European, they are not obese. But in America, it's all about taste, it's all about portion, it's all about preservation. So that's the problem they have in America, because most of their food are genetically altered in order to fulfill these 3 points. If you want to eat good food in America, you have to pay premium. Bad food leads to bad health. The average BMI of an American citizen is about 29. That's alarming. So talking about the healthcare system in Europe is affordable. It's been subsidized by the government. And I remember when I was in medical school in Belarus and in Georgia, my average health insurance is around $100 per semester. That's $100 every 5 months, which makes it about $200 in a year. And if I have any reason to visit the doctor, I'm going to get free appointment, free treatment, either surgical procedure or whatever. Everything has been covered by the insurance. In America, it's insanely expensive, it's unaffordable, and it's unfair on the American people. It's borderline criminal. The same thing for the education system. In Europe, the education system has been subsidized. The cost of education in Europe has been subsidized by the government. People go to school and come out of college without incurring debts. In America, people go to college, get a lot of debt, come back heavily indebted out of college, and they go to the workforce trying to repay a humongous amount of loans for several years, and by the time they are done, the government reward them by sending them to nursing home. And then you ask the question, who are these people making these decisions? When you see an average European kid, an average European teenager, they are seasoned, they are cultured, they speak multiple languages, because in school they integrate English language to their courses or German language apart from their indigenous local language, and they are vast about the world geography. In America, it's not the same. Most American teenagers think the world revolves around America. If you mention a country like Bulgaria, they have no clue where it's located. But in contrast, European kids are more seasoned. They get involved in more personal development. They get involved in sports. They get involved in music and all. So these are my opinion. This is from my own personal experience, having lived in Europe for almost a decade, and now I'm in US and I've spent about 2 years. That's my experience. Also share your own experience in the comment section below. Click the like button if you enjoyed the video, and share as well. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys again the next time. Peace.